All right, on tonight's episode of Python Papi, we're back inside our generative AI course, and we're going to be diving deeper into vector databases. Let's have a look at what we went over tonight. Let's get that pulled up. Nope, sorry, wrong file. It's this one here we want to go. And here's our vector databases. All right, so we're just going to do some light reading. We did some note taking, and we're going to do some light reading, and then we're going to show you exactly what we're going to be doing next. So let's see where we left off last. We actually introduced the idea of vector databases, and we said that over 80% or through 80 to 85% of data out there is unstructured data. And the process of a vector database is formed like this or looks like this. So we have a document, an image, or a PDF, which equals a high dimensional data that gets converted into a vector. As you can see here, this is our vector, which is nothing more than our embeddings of values. And this is going to be a high dimensional vector. And then that in turn get passed into a vector database, which is a store for our data. So you can see that's how the form or that's how the process looks. Now to break down the vector database, we'll first look at the database. Now, these are two forms of databases: the SQL database, where we store our data in the form of rows and columns, and the NoSQL database, where we don't have to write down SQL or create any kind of schema. Also, inside of the NoSQL database, we have different types of databases, but we're not going to go over those because we're not doing NoSQL databases. Next, we will look at the vector, which we went over previously, which will be getting stored inside of our database. The vector database is different from the SQL and the NoSQL databases. So let's look into the differences and why we should use the vector database. First, we will look at the unstructured data. This is basically raw data that is unstructured, like images, videos. We have pixels in the form of a grid. Pixel values will usually be between 0 through 255. You can recall we went over this already inside our TensorFlow course. The other forms of unstructured data are text data and voice data. Now, these are the most common forms of unstructured data. Now, we did take a lot more notes and we did go over a lot more stuff. I'm not going to dive over everything and go into everything, but we already just start our practical demo of the vector databases. So I do have that queued up here. We're going to actually start building code around our vector database. And the first one we're going to start using, well, let me go over one of the last concepts of the night so you can know exactly what I'm talking about. So here are a couple of the most widely used vector databases. We have the Chroma, Weaviate, Pinecone, and the Feist, which is a scalable search with the Facebook AI. So the first one we're going to be using is the Pinecone. So I assume that we're going to be using the Pinecone vector database in our implementation of our demo when we first start. I don't know if we're going to go over every aspect or we're going to go over every version of the vector databases, but I know he did say we're going to start using the Pinecone. So we're probably going to start building our code based on that and built around that. But of course, I will keep you guys posted every step of the way. And for now, it's the Python Papi. You guys stay Gucci.